I doubt very much we're going to need them on the next project. Might need these, but probably not. This one it's pretty loose. This I can take off with my fingers. But we're going to take this all down and look at it really good and make sure it's worth even doing any repairs to. You can see right there that that head has been broke right there and right here. So I don't know how far we're going to be able to shape it down, but we're going to try. Yeah, I didn't think we were going to need those pliers. I probably should have took the rear one off first, huh? And it won't be flopping in my face. When we put this back together, we will reuse these eyelets, but we're going to make sure the holes are way smaller than they are now. We're going to refill them with plastic. I have a 3D pen. It melts plastic to well, whatever degree I set it. And there we go. But yeah, we can melt plastic, and we can also use super glue, which was maybe what I'll do actually. And I won't have to go through all the hassle of reshaping, but yeah, she needs some help. That's for sure. Ain't much left of that. We're actually going to drill that out. You hear noises in the background, that's my cat. She just woke up from like a 18-hour nap. She gets pretty wild and crazy sometimes. Anyway, we'll drill that out. And well, let's see what we got. It's got a little bit of black paint on it, so we should be able to see where we're at as far as how bad we are. It's pretty hard plastic, pretty dense. It has to be able to float. Oops. I will take the Dremel to this. I'm just getting some basic ideas of how out of proportion it is. Sorry the camera's shaking, because I'm shaking the hell out of the table. I got my arms rested on it. See, like right up here, now that I got it apart on the bottom, this is where the lip was mounted. So that was pretty smooth, but under here, going this way, it's a whole different story. It almost looks like it was made with that little lip there, but yeah. So what we're going to have to do is get this rounded and smooth as good as we can, and then do this side the exact same with the Dremel. Take it down so they look the same, because this got pretty beat up. Looked like it was cut with a knife or something. See, there's little pieces sticking off of it now. Right there. Yeah, it's going to need a little work, but I think we can probably fix it, because all the damage is right up here. All the rest is okay. There's a lot right there. You can see how out of proportion that is. With the Dremel, this will go down really quick. But whatever you do to one side, you got to do to the other. or you'll lose your balance in the water. This is taking the black paint off of everything that's low. That's high. And it'll stay on everything that's low. Sorry for the shaking. I'll do most of this off camera. I'm just giving you an idea. So you can see it's got all kinds of golf ball dents in it right here from hitting rocks from casting. So we'll get that down smooth. It's going to be a little bit smaller profile. I may turn this into a completely different lure. It's not going to have this on it anymore. I know that for sure. Yep. Now I can't pick it up because it landed the wrong way. Of course. There we go. Yeah, that's not going to go back on it. I know it has a purpose to make it do this. But I think the head alone, I can get it to do that. Maybe even bounce down a little bit more. Or not as aggressive. It's going to be a smaller lure, so it doesn't need such a big lip in the front. I could cut that down, but I'm sure I can come up with something better. So anyway, I'm going to get set up with the Dremel and do a little bit of that. I'm not going to do a whole lot of that on camera because I don't want the dust all over my camera, for one, and it would get really ridiculous to watch. It needs a little bit of shaping, so I need to sit and carve it for a little bit. Okay, I got all that stuff put away, and I got to looking at this. A little bit here got chipped off from hitting a rock, probably when you cast, because it happens to be almost the exact shape of where that lip was, and I think it hit a rock and snapped it when somebody was casting, or maybe, or some, who knows. But I made a little mark over here on this side. Here, I'll use a pointer. I made a little mark over here on this side. It gives me the basic shape of what this is. This still needs to be worked down quite a bit yet too, so, but this just gives me the basic shape, even from here to here, with the eye in the middle, or the eyelet hole in the middle, looking down at, that distance and that distance is the same. So that just gives me a basic, so I don't lose center line too much. There is a center line. It does look like it was molded. I thought it would be one piece, but it is molded. Two-piece mold put together. So that's going to kind of help me if I keep an eye on this line the whole way around. I can keep my proportions kind of even. The shape I'm going for is kind of like a peanut that grew weird. I'm going to have to take this end down here a little bit because it's still got that golf ball effect going on, and so I want to take that down a little bit more. I don't care if it goes down real smooth, because there are some big dents, but I want to get it as close as possible. And I want to, once I get this shaped to the shape so they're even on both sides and cleaned up, then I want to get rid of the bottom right here. Maybe you can see it. You can kind of see it right here, right where that red mark is. It's like a big hump so I want to smooth this back this way a little bit, so it'll help bring this down. When you jerk it, it'll help bring the nose down a little bit. And then I want to make it look more rounded by taking this like this, going all the way around, right in this general area. Keep going around it, round it, round it, taking more out, so it makes it like more concave, like a neck and shoulders kind of deal. And that'll maybe give it some of this action. So the water will do weird stuff going by the neck of it and hitting the shoulders and making it do squirrely things. Just looking at it, and the shape that I think it's going to go into, it just looks like it's going to be, a mouse for sure. But I want to give it more of a mouse shape, more than just this, kinda. But we're going to get going on it. I just wanted to do a little intro before I turn this on. And I'm going to work on it a little bit now. I'm going to work on this side right here and see how long that takes and get this down smoother, because there's a big dent in the middle of that where it just snapped right off. So I may fill that too. That's not that hard. Just put a little baking soda and super glue and let it harden up and just sand it again. But I'm going to start taking it down and see how far I can go. I got a mask on, just a regular dust mask, and safety glasses. Alright, let's get going and see how far we can get going on it. I'm not going to go real fast with the Dremel because I don't really need to. I just want to get a good position here. There we go, right here. It's pretty firm plastic, and I'm very lightly touching this. I want to shape it more than take a big amount of plastic off. I just want to kind of shape it down at the same time. I mean, I can sit there and just go and get rid of everything and then try to shape it, but sometimes you don't need to do that. You can see there's kind of big chunks coming off, and I'm barely touching this to it. I don't know what grit this sanding disc is. Couldn't tell you right off the bat. It's probably like 100, maybe. I don't really buy anything too low as far as sanding grit. Usually 150 is my lowest. This is going to shape up pretty good. keep that same line, which is just about all the way there now. Get a little bit more right here on this edge to come down around, and get this hump right here. A lot of that disappeared, quite a bit of it. I'm almost at the shape I want it. Then we'll start working this corner around, so it's more of this shape. But you can almost really see it now. It's where I'm shooting for. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it doesn't really focus on my hand. I was hoping it would focus on my hand. Oh well. But you get the idea. So, off camera, I'm going to go ahead and shape this down. Alright guys, well, I've done quite a bit off camera. I mean a lot. I shaped the heck out of this thing with the Dremel. Just really slowly working around. I couldn't go any further to get any more of these dents out, because if I did, it would be too thin to go down that far to get that one out. All the plastic around it would get really thin, almost translucent. And yeah, one good whack on a rock casting would break it right in half. So you want to leave as much mass as you can. Right here, that hump that I said I wanted to take off had a little red spot on it. I dremeled that really slowly because I wasn't sure if it was hollow, and sure as heck it was. So once I figured out it was hollow, I just went a little bit further until I had a hole big enough to carve it out with my X-Acto. And it's solid here, it's solid here, and it's solid here for the screws. Then it's probably hollow again, and then solid here back because of the tail too. That's all. This is solid back here, but the center's probably hollow, and most of this up front was hollow. So what I did was I have a bunch of old ball bearings out of the rear cluster of my mountain bike. So I dropped a couple of them in there side by side, and took my hot glue gun and stuck the needle nose in there and just kept pushing hot glue. I filled that whole cavity full of hot glue with those ball bearings in there. Gave it just a little bit of extra weight. It's come out really well for what I was spraying on anyway. You know, now that it's all one color, all the repairs that I've done, all the sanding I've done, this looks like way better now. It looks like a actual mouse head or a mouse body. Now that you don't see that glue that I put in here, see how nice and smooth that came out. That's just almost perfect the way I wanted it, but yeah. well, that's pretty much it right there. Ended up taking 3 colors to get what I wanted. I put regular brown on it first over the lighter beige, and I didn't like that at all. There was no fade to it. It was more or less dark and black, or dark and white, and I didn't like it at all. I wanted more of a softer fade into a little bit lighter color. It's going to be topwater bait, so the fish are primarily going to see the bottom. So, but I wanted it to look somewhat real. I mean, I know mice are pretty much one color brown, but we're going to call this a domestic mouse. Or a mini rat. Once the eyes and the tail's on it, it'll look a lot better, but I'm going to dip it right now, and I wanted you guys to see what it looks like before and after. I did get a pretty decent lighter color in the front. I wanted that for the eyes to really stand out. I can do some hand painting on that if I need to make it look a little more mousy, but like I said, that kind of stuff is for the people. Let's see if I can get it up here a little closer so you can see how the fade really looks without clear on it. Because it looks way different with clear coat on it. That's a pretty quick job. If I took my time, I mean, it's a fishing lure, so it's going to get beat up. The fish are going to tear it up. But, I mean, if you really take your time and you're pretty decent with an airbrush, I've seen some guys do some pretty remarkable stuff. But, yeah, you can see all the dents and stuff in it that still left over. There's nothing I can do about it. But let's dip it right now, since I got you guys here. I'm not real worried about the thread holes. Truthfully, I kind of wanted them to seal up a little bit, because the screws that go into those, the eyelet screws, I'm letting this drip a minute. The eyelet screws were, a couple more twists and they would have been stripped out. So, yeah. Okay, now you can see the difference. Much smoother from the fade from one color to the next. Pretty cool, huh? Well, I got a little carried away with coffee this morning and ended up putting the whole darn thing together. Totally forgot about the cameras. That's what happens when I get up early and start drinking coffee and start looking at things. And yeah, first thing I started out doing was putting the hooks on the ring hook or ringlets. Excuse me. I got them done, and next thing you know, I'm cutting the tail, and I kept seeing if it would fit, kept checking it to see if it would fit. Next thing you know, I got it to fit, and I'm like, well, put the glue on it, squished it in there, and voila. And then before I realized it, I'm digging out the eyeballs, seeing what I had for eyes. I have to find some yellow and red ones that match the tail. I put those on. I'm like, well, now I might as well dip it. So I dipped it one more time. So I waited until now to get the hooks on it. So now I'm showing you the finished product. Showing you how to do this would really be, I mean, this is going to be a long video as it is. I mean, super long. That's not all glue. That's a little bit of glue, but only up to about there. That's clear coat. When I dipped this earlier, I dipped it up to that far, just to make sure this was all like one piece right through there, because you don't want water getting in there and getting separation and all that. But yeah, I really, this has got three coats of clear coat on it right now, so it's done. But it came up pretty good. I call it the mocha mouse. This is actually mocha on the bottom with chocolate on the top. I totally hated how it came out the first time, but I left it in the video just so you can see me changing my mind and turning it into this. The first coat on the bottom was more of a grayish, which is kind of more mousy-ish, but when I sprayed the top, I sprayed it with straight brown, and it looked like crap. I didn't like it at all. So I started to sand it down just to get it ready for the next coat, thinking, man, maybe one more coat will work. And when I did that, it actually pulled some of the gray through, and it looked kind of cool, kind of like a gerbil, you buy. So I thought, well, cool, let's get some lighter brown and go over that and leave that in. But I ended up just saying the hell with it and turning it into the mocha mouse instead. And I'm kind of glad I did, because it worked out well with the color wise. I got the red and yellow on that, got the red hooks. I totally changed the hooks out. If you remember, he had like a Met spinner type deal trailing it. Well, we took that off, and I just completely replaced everything with brand new hooks, brand new ringlets, and all these eyelets are glued in. They're never going to come out. This lure will break before these eyelets come out. But it came out pretty good for what it is. I mean, I would have loved to have been able to sand this really, really smooth. It kind of bugs me that you run your finger over it and you can feel all the little bumps that were from people casting it over the years, hitting rocks and whatever else. But yeah, I like it. Maybe if we're lucky, we can go out there and interrupt his work day. I'm pretty sure he's working today, and we'll get a reaction video. That's the guy I was looking for.
What's up?
Remember that piece of crap you gave me?
Yeah.
Tell me what it will. Tell me what it looked like.
So,
if you remember.
What I remember was it was about this big. It was yellow.
And
it was all tore up pieces.
Well, yellow and another color.
Black. It had
Yeah.
stripes on there too,
There you go.
Yeah, treble hooks. I put that dip on the top so it goes down about 5-7 feet. Had no tail because I cut the tail off. Is really all I remember.
Well, hold your hand out.
Sweet.
You ready?
Yep. Holy. Oh, that is so cool. You actually got the eyes on there too.
Yeah.
I love the tail. Oh, wow. Wow. That looks really nice.
It came out better than I thought it was gonna too. For what it looked like.
Yeah. Wow. That turned out amazing.
Cheers. Take her home.
Oh yeah. Can't wait for the spring to try it.
No, yeah, and here we got snow outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking snow.
Cool. Glad you like it.
Oh yeah. Love it, dude. Thank you so much.
You bet.